I think that's working. Yeah, it is working.
Hopefully.
Put a little live thing up there.
Oh yeah. No one say anything bad.
Yeah,
like that we hate each other. So
hello everyone. Thank you for joining us for our first ever live show for the Irish Readathon. It's an excuse to read, isn't it?
Definitely. Hopefully get a bit more reading done. I've only done like an hour, not even an hour of reading today, I don't think so. Kirsty's here.
Hi Kirsty.
So yeah, I finished the Glorious Guinness Girls earlier, so I have that out of the way and starting a new book.
Did you start that and finish it today?
No, I started it on Wednesday night, so St. Patrick's Day, and I read a little bit of it, and then I read most of it on Thursday and Friday. But I liked it. It was good. It was interesting to see kind of the lives of because they actually existed, so it was kind of interesting to see how they lived and what they were like, and you know, it was kind of around the time of the Civil War in the 1920s. And I never realized, because obviously, like, when you think about it, Arthur Guinness would have been like Anglo-Irish, so he would have been Protestant and had more allegiance to like England. So I was like, I never knew that, and it's funny to think about that now, like with Guinness being so like connected to Ireland, and you're like, well, actually, we probably didn't want like the Irish Free State.
That's mad.
Yeah,
I'd never thought that before.
I'd never thought about it until I saw it, and then in the book she has some that he says some things where he's like not really, like wouldn't be supportive of like the War of Independence and then the Civil War, and has like some things to say about it all, and I'm just like, I don't know how I feel about this. But yeah, learning history, so while we're at it. And then there was a whole thing with the 20s in London and the parties and like the flapper era in London, which was very fun. So
it sounds great. There's people here.
There's loads of people. I actually had a dream about this live show last night. I think I might have been nervous about it or something, so it was like in my mind when I was going to sleep, and then I had a dream that like there was just like this crazy live show happening, and like loads of bad things are happening in it.
I mean, I don't know how wild we can get with reading a few books, but you know, I can try and spice things up.
I have Desi down here on the ground, so he could jump up at some point and make an appearance.
That's the perfect show content.
Yeah. So if anyone hears
that, you could just go and put the camera on Desi.
I can. If anyone hears any like farting or snoring at any point, it's not me. It might be me, but I'll blame you.
I've finished The Importance of Being Aisling earlier. Have you read these?
I haven't. And one of the reasons why I haven't read them is because I always hear that they're like more resonant if you're like a country girl come down to Dublin. I don't know if I would get it as much as being like, oh, he's a Dublin girl.
Yeah, I read the first one a couple of years ago. I read it with Gabby actually, and we both enjoyed it, but it's like a bit twee. Like there's a lot of like name dropping of like brands or like minor Irish celebrities, or like shops and places, just to make the reader be like, oh my god, Aisling is so me, which is obviously the point. But I would not be friends with Aisling, but I enjoy spending time with her.
You enjoy judging her?
A little bit. It's very bad now, but
yeah. I wonder
what people can read it kind of and not think.
Yeah, I like those books. Sometimes you need those books.
Oh my god, this is so true. So we did a live show yesterday for Charlotte's Queenie Reid's birthday, and I was so envious of Sylvie's fairy lights. So I was like, I need to do a better setup today. I'm in my old bedroom, so I didn't even try. I just have all the stuff that's like left. This bedroom now is like, it's my room, but then my brother uses it as like a study room or just like a breakout room for himself or an office. And then it's also like half my dad's storage room, so there's just like things everywhere. So what's this? I think that must be so interesting because there is a lot of like Irish isms in it, and I wonder how that then translates into German. I think what Aoife's doing is so interesting. I think it's really cool.
That is
I hope I haven't offended you by saying I wouldn't be friends with Ashley.
I think there are lots of girls out there who are Ashlings, so I think it's okay.
I've also been reading Out of Love by Hazel Hayes. I'm really enjoying it. It's hitting me kind of in the feels quite a bit.
What is it about?
So it is the story of a breakup, but it starts from when they've broken up and then works backwards, and you can kind of see the cracks starting to show in the relationship. And initially I was like on the girl's side, but now I'm like, oh, this looks messy from all angles.
Is it fiction?
Yeah, it is. I don't want to do that thing where I kind of imprint a woman's work and think it's her life, but in my head it's her, and I'm trying really hard not to do that.
I've done that with people as well, with like Melanie Murphy's book. If only I felt like I was reading Melanie at sometimes, and some of the people that she had in characters felt like her friends, like other YouTubers and stuff. So I think it's just sometimes you can't help it. Sorry, Aoife, bye.
Sorry.
Look what you did, man.
Oh, so nice.
Thanks, Victoria. Victoria is just the most supportive person ever. I love her to bits.
Love you. And we love you, Mary. And then what I'm going to be reading in the sprints is Exciting Times, which we spoke about this a little bit before we actually went on broadcast, but it will be intriguing to see what I think of this, but I am excited.
And I am going to be reading The Tainted. So I'm hoping this will be good. So I was just saying to Leanne that Lauren from Lauren in the book described this as a gentle read, and I like that description because sometimes you need a gentle, nice read. So I'm hoping to like this one.
What is everyone in the chat reading?
Yes, I know Kirsty has been tackling House of Leaves, which is a chunker and very tough, but I don't know if she's reading it for this sprint. So
I did my annual Marion Keyes earlier in the month, which is also my annual chunkster of the year.
Are all her books as big as
I don't know.
The latest ones?
I've only read the latest one, so I've only read her most recent three. And they've all been pretty hefty. Like I've got the hardback of Grown Ups, and you could injure someone with that bad boy, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I had the break, and that was very big.
This is exactly what we're saying. This is a great book. I love this book. Oh my god, I can't keep up. There's so many comments. Oh, we got a couple of Henna Wars readers.
Oh, loads of Henna Wars. It's actually so great seeing so many people reading the Henna Wars.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anyone else saw Diba's new book that's going to be coming out. It sounds so good.
So good.
I've heard that about Marion Keyes' work, that like some of it doesn't age as well, which I think like you could say about a lot of books written, especially like women's fiction books written around the same time.
Yeah. Even in the one I read, which is fairly recent, The Woman Who Stole My Life, there's one line in it that really bothered me.
Yeah.
In terms of consent.
Oh, really?
And I was just like, can we just take that one line out?
Yeah.
It's so like not good. Yeah.
I think it was a book I read last year by Claudia Carroll, and there was basically a relationship in it where there was a couple that was married, and then he ended up I think I think he ended up cheating or getting together with like another man, so he's bisexual. And there was like this whole kind of a theory that he wasn't really bisexual, like that it wasn't a thing, and that he was obviously gay. And I was just like, oh, you cannot like. It just was like so, and like it wasn't. It was only like in the, I don't know, probably like 2010 or something, maybe even later. And I was like, oh, well, it just doesn't come across well anymore at all.
Oh, I read Waiting for Godot when I was at uni, and so we like code switching then, going to say college and then like no, I must translate for the English books.
Yeah.
So I read it at uni, and it's very weird, but I had a good time. I do love the idea of having like a whole shelf of all of them. Especially in the new covers that are white with just the color
Yeah.
font on the front. I think they're really pretty.
You might need 2 shelves if they're that big. Yeah.
I'm loving all the henna wars, love.
I know. Oh, 600, jeez.
See, I'm normally of the belief where I'm like, there's no excuse for a book to be more than 400 pages. No excuse.
I did find the break a little bit big and like a little bit like dragged out. I was like, this could probably be shorter. I can't wait for Kirsty to finish off Piranesi because it's such an interesting book.
I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I hadn't really thought about reading it because I hadn't read her first book.
I hadn't.
I had no interest in it either, so I kind of just assumed I wouldn't have an interest in this one.
It's one of those books that like it's very hard to explain, but it's just such a lovely written book, and it's so kind of fantastical and lovely and gentle and interesting, mysterious all at the same time. And yeah, I loved it. I listened to it on audiobook, and it's a really great audiobook.
I'm excited for her book that's coming out later this year.
Yeah,
and the book that's coming out next year.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, queen.
It's just really nice to see her get like the hype as well. And I think because obviously the Henna Wars came out in the US first, she like there is like a really lovely hype train around her books, which I'm like so well deserved and like so great to see as well.
It's not just the fact that her books are like really like good YA, that is something that like, Irish writing has needed for the longest time. It's so lovely.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm so glad when nice things happen to nice people.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so close.
Maybe you can finish it in these sprints. The classic Irish ramble.
Look, if we want to get to this story, you need to know this adjacent story and this adjacent story, and you need to know who your man's cousin was as well.
Yeah. It's like, wait till I tell you about your man who was part of this story, but there was something else happened with him that's really interesting.
Yeah. So do we want to sprint for half an hour?
Yeah.
Now, me trying to figure out how to share my screen.
I'm gonna mute during the sprints just so in case anyone like shouts at me from downstairs or anything like that. You guys don't have to hear about it.
Okay. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Cool. You're like such an old woman who can't do technology.
I feel like that all the time.
Okay, let's go.
Cool.
Oh no, an alarm didn't go off, and I thought one would. Thought it would make a beepy noise, and it didn't.
Sometimes the beepy noise like kind of startles you as well, though.
How are you getting on?
Grand, got about 30 pages read. So it's funny, the place they are in this book in India is called Nandagiri, and I kind of feel like it sounds like an Irish village name as well.
Yeah. I don't know what I think of this yet. I get the normal people comparison, but I think it reminds me more of Conversations with Friends.
Yeah.
In that it's annoying people being annoying.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But I think I'm having a good time. There is kind of like a lot of the observations about being Irish in a different place, which I do enjoy.
Yeah, you probably will understand that as well.
Yeah, it's just like the little things of like, oh, so we'll do this on Boxing Day, and then you're sat there like Stephen's Day, and they're like, what is that?
Yeah, exactly. Hamlet is so good.
I feel like I'm the only person who hasn't read it.
Oh, you haven't read it? I really, really liked it. It was my first book I read this year.
It's so close to finishing. I'm so impressed. 64 pages is so much.
Oh.
This is what I meant about Marion. It's a lot of pages, but you speed through them.
I really need to read more of her.
Yeah. This is making sense now, because I was surprised that Shai didn't love Exciting Times. Yeah, I definitely think it's more like Conversations with Friends.
I'm one of these people that prefers normal people to Conversations with Friends.
Oh yeah, I did as well.
Yeah.
Like I liked Conversations with Friends.
Yeah.
Which is kind of how I feel about this so far. I'm like, oh, I like this. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see if it.
And I actually really liked Mr. Salary, her like tiny little.
I loved Mr. Salary.
I would love like a whole novel about those two characters because that was really great.
And also, if I just say the bit in Mr. Salary, does that make sense to you? Like the bit
where I have to reread it, I think.
The bit with the river?
I just know I just remember that I did really like it. Like but I do need actually maybe I'll reread it during this.
Yeah, sure. It's only what, like 30 pages?
It's tiny. Yeah. Something like tiny little ones.
I feel less alone now.
I'm just so impressed that Aoife is reading a book in German because that's like
the last time I went to Germany a few years ago, and it was pretty soon after I finished school. I was maybe only like 19 or something when I went. And I was so convinced I would be able to like have a conversation in German, and like people knew. Like I would go to like order somewhere, and they were like, "We're just going to speak to her in English." I tried. Hey.
I really want to read that too.
It's really good, and I know you read that 32
words field. Yeah, especially after reading that as well.
It's on show also has a lot of like language stuff in it, and it blows my mind that someone like Una Ming, who is totally immersed in like Irish culture and Irish language and is like fluent in Irish language and has done so much kind of publicly for Gaeilgeoirs, faces so much backlash when she tries, like when she is Irish. And then someone like me, who can barely string a sentence together in Irish.
Right.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah. It's just like, it's like what I felt as well when I was reading 32 Words for Field. And I was like, literally when you think about it, we start learning Irish when we're like 4 or 5 when we start school. all the way up until we're 18, and yet thousands of us wouldn't even be able to read a page or like string sentence together because it's taught so badly that people reject it and they don't want to read it. And then I was reading 32 Words per Field, and it was so interesting, and like just the different types of words, what they actually mean, their origin, and like this is the type of thing I would love to read in school. And like I was taking in words and remembering words, and like telling whoever I was beside, I was like telling them like I sent you like the pages that I thought were really interesting. And yeah, I was like, why don't they just put this like get teenagers to read this, and it might actually invest us more in the Irish language, but they won't do that.
My experience of learning at secondary school was literally like they were complete DOS lessons. Like no one paid attention, and the teacher didn't do anything to make you want to pay attention. Like my teacher would just leave the classroom all the time. And they'd give us work with children.
Yeah. My leaving cert, like I had a good, like she was okay at Irish, but like in teaching Irish, but she had a very specific way of teaching us. So she was kind of giving us like paragraphs to learn like off. And then something happened and she had to leave. I think like there was like a family death, and she had to like take leave of absence for a while. And we got moved into another Irish class, which only maybe after Christmas, only a few months away from the leaving cert. And that Irish teacher, she had a completely different way of teaching. I think she was from Galway, so she had a very specific way she liked to speak Irish as well. And she basically told us, the people who came into that class were like, she told us, well, this isn't going to be the way you learn anymore. And she was basically telling us to relearn like the way we'd been taught, and it was so hard and completely like messed us up. Like she should have just let us go ahead with how we had been taught. And yeah, it was so annoying. I was like, why do this like a few months before the biggest exams of our life? Please don't.
Yeah. It was just most of the time no work, and then suddenly the leaving cert was around the corner, so it was like just rote learn all of these things. You don't need to understand what they mean, just memorize them. Which is like not a lot of people can just rote learn things. And it's also not how a language should be taught.
No, it shouldn't be. I always preferred Spanish when I was in school, learning Spanish than learning Irish.
That's the thing. Sure, I got to the point where my German was way better than my Irish was.
Yeah.
I'd been learning Irish for like many years.
Yeah, same. I'd like to go back on, like, because Duolingo do Irish, I think, so I'd like to go back and maybe see that, and then see if it's good for starters, and then I'd love to go back and like just do some sort of course and try and learn a bit more, and even if I'm able to speak it. So because where my mum and dad have a house up in Donegal, it's kind of a Gaeltacht area, so like you could go into some shops and like speak to people in Irish.
I can have like a slight conversation, but I'm quite slow, and I'd probably have to chuck in a couple of English words here and there.
Yeah.
But the thing I find really strange is if you put a page of Irish in front of me, I would be able to read it and pronounce it and sound like I was fluent. But that's just because I know how to pronounce things. I don't actually know how to translate anything.
Yeah. I was always better at reading languages than I was at listening to them. And I wonder if that's because I'm just naturally like, I prefer reading things anyway. But in school, like, Irish and Spanish, I always preferred reading things, and I always felt more confident reading things and translating things I was looking at rather than hearing. You always find that, like, it's always like the most inopportune moments, like your teacher will disappear or like go maternity leave or something. It's like, no.
My claim to fame will always be that Cillian Murphy's cousin was my maths teacher.
Not Cillian Murphy. Colin Farrell's cousin was a teacher in my school for a while.
It's funny when we have these moments, isn't it? Because it's the whole stereotype of, oh, sure, you're all related.
That's
not,
really
but we do
yeah.
all know each other.
Yeah. We probably might know all each other's cousins or something.
It's just
That's really interesting about Duolingo.
That's mad.
Yeah.
Wow. I tried it once, and I found it quite funny because it kept chucking up sentences like
Yeah.
green, white, and orange is better than red, white, and blue, and I was like, Jesus, guys, I don't want to get
Yeah, I
into
say
this.
that Duolingo is like, I say whoever does that like has a lot of fun.
Oh, I never know how old year 10 is.
No, me neither.
Like, I want to say like it's like 16. I think it's like 16.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So if I filled in like a census or anything, I wouldn't say that I spoke Irish.
Yeah. Mine isn't expensive.
I don't know. I just remember like whenever the last one was, my mum was like, well, I put you down as Catholic," and I was like, well, first of all, no. Second of all, I'm not in the house, ma'am.
Yeah.
Don't put me down.
I think a lot of people put themselves down as Catholic even though they wouldn't be practicing at all.
I learned something.
10, 14. See, we're easier. We have like first year, second year, third year, which is 13, 14, 15. TY, which is 16, and then fifth year and sixth year, which is 17, 18. Yeah. If you do TY, because TY is optional. So you can skip. You can go from third year into fifth year. You don't have to do your fourth year.
I love explaining TY to people.
I know. It's like a year you don't have to do anything. You can just do like in my year we did ballroom dancing, fencing, yoga, and we did something else. We did like outdoor like the outdoor skiing. We did stuff like that.
Such a better TY than I did. We did Irish music, which was basically just us bashing on a bowron for an hour and a tin whistle. But it was very strange because some of us actually did music like as a subject,
yeah,
and we were in there like, this is so easy.
We have the TYs in school. I did do like a talent show. Like they organized a talent show, and then anyone else in like other years kind of can be in the talent show. But the TYs will organize it and do the auditions and do all the sound and music and everything like that.
What else? We did like computers.
You think we did computers as well?
But it wasn't. I don't know what we did.
Like when I was in college doing like my journalism degree, we had we had a module that was computers, and it was someone teaching us how to type. And I was like, I think we've gotten to 21, 22 with learning to type, and we're okay.
I remember once my auntie learned how to type. And I know obviously there is like a way of learning to type where like
you have to like have your
but like having grown up with computers, I just know how to do this. I don't need a method of it. And I remember once I was sat at the kitchen table and she was like, "That's not how you do it." And I was like, "Well, do it quicker than you do."
Yeah, that kind of comes from, I think, like the like when you had typewriters.
Yeah. Oh, we did self-defense as well, but I always missed.
I did that when we were doing the skiing. I did like the first week, and I decided because it was like outdoor skiing, so it was like fake mats, like so it wasn't obviously snow. It was like all fake stuff, and I decided I didn't like it, so I sat out, and all the other weeks, it's like I have my period. I can't do this.
You have your period every week.
It's a very long cycle.
I don't really remember what else we did. We definitely did outdoor ed as well, and I imagine we went to the exact same skiing place that you did.
Probably. I think there's only one.
Probably, yeah.
It's in
I
Wicklow, I think.
don't really remember. We went horse riding, which was fun.
Oh, that would have been cool. I would have liked that.
Yeah. I don't know what else we did. Oh, we did drama, but it wasn't drama. It was like games. Do we want to do some more reading?
Yeah.
Shall we do like 20 minutes and then we can have some more chat and then end with another sprint?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. I will set the timer.
Jazzy started he started having a dream or something during the last sprint, and he was like buffing in his sleep.
Bless him. Why isn't it working? Oh, there we go.
Did you put an alarm on your phone for that one?
I did. I was like, it's going to take me too long to figure out how to do it on my laptop, so I'm just going to do it on my phone. How's everyone's reading going?
Desi has joined us.
Aww, you sleepy boy.
I've read Strongbow and Aoife by Morgan Llewellyn when I was younger, and I think I have a copy of it somewhere. But I liked that one.
Are they Welsh?
She might be Welsh. But she tends to write a lot of like Irish stories.
Okay. I was just looking at Llewellyn and I was like,
yeah. I need to read that. I've heard really great things about it. That Swim Two Boys. You read that one?
I don't think I know it.
I actually, to be honest, I actually don't know what it's about. I just have heard it's really good.
I was talking about this recently, and I was like thinking about the fact that I do know a lot of Irish books, and like it's kind of like my thing.
Yeah.
But it's like the more you familiarize yourself with something, the more you realize that there's so much you haven't read.
Yeah.
So like when someone mentions an Irish book and I don't know what it is, I feel like a fraud.
Yeah, same.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah.
Flashbacks to my history.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Piranesi is like, it's just so odd when things come together and it still doesn't make that much sense, and you kind of have to like, it's one of those ones where for me I was like, I can't, like, the human mind is amazing what someone can come up with and the type of stories someone can create and the world they can imagine. Yeah, and I would love to, like, I must actually, I don't know if Susanna Clark has done any interviews or anything about Piranesi, but I'd love to watch actually some of them to see what she says about it and her writing process and where she got the idea and stuff.
Oh, I love that people are sharing recommendations in the chat.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I haven't read too many books, like, I think in terms of the Irish Civil War. One of the only books I've read is The Bloodied Field by Michael Foley, but that wasn't the Civil War. What was the Civil War? Because it was the Black and Tans, wasn't it? That shooting. It's basically about a football. It's kind of around, there was a shooting of kind of leaders. I don't know whether they were English or kind of like state people. And then in retaliation, the Black and Tans, or I don't know whether it's Black and Tans or the army, basically invaded a football field of an All-Ireland football final and shot in the crowd and into the field, and a bunch of people died, and that's what that's about. So I actually must check what around the time of the Civil War. That's The Bloody Field.
I think it's really interesting how a lot of people for the Irish Readathon will read history books.
Yeah.
And I love that. I would never think to do it though, because I would just be like,
yeah,
I think it would feel like school for me.
Maybe. I would also recommend anyone who is reading books about the Irish Civil War, if you haven't already, you should watch Michael Collins with Liam Neeson, and The Wind That Shakes the Barley with Cillian Murphy. They're both really good movies. Both cover the Civil War.
That's so satisfying.
Yeah.
I get, when I'm just like reading by myself, I will always try and read like a very like dividable round number, because I just find it like really satisfying.
I'm like, are you someone who always needs to like finish at the end of a chapter, or can you finish anywhere?
it would have to be at the end of the chapter. Like if I was like on a bus or something and I had to get off, then it's fine. You know, I'm not going to freak out about it.
Yeah.
But I would not be happy about it.
I hate when you're like maybe like half a page away or like a page away from the end of the chapter, and then your stop comes and you're like, damn it.
We got all the love for Desi in the chat.
He knows. I don't think I've heard anything about the audiobook for the Henna Wars.
Well, me neither.
Or so hopefully it's good. American Irish.
This is interesting because Llewellyn is not an Irish name.
No, it's Welsh.
It's a Welsh name.
Ah, those American Irish. Oh, Irish.
Everyone is reading so much. We only did 20 minutes.
Ooh, I want hot chocolate.
Are we talking cream and marshmallows here? I need details.
Yeah. My brother got this like fancy coffee machine for Christmas, and he has like a foamer, you know, like one of those fancy milk foamers, and he made me hot chocolate last week, I think, with it, and it was so good. It's nice and foamy.
I always see the people with the like Hotel Chocolat velvetizers. I really want them.
I love Dracula.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah. I think I had such a misconception about what it was before I read it.
It really surprised me when I first read it, and I think the format of it as well, like, is so good. The fact it's all letters and diary entries and stuff. And I've never actually watched any of the movies or anything about it. I've only read the book. I've read the book twice, and I've enjoyed it both times.
I also always do this. I will start a book in October, and we'll be reading it months later.
Every year I mean to join in with October, and every year it's like I remember too late, and I already have like books set out or something. And you know, with like October books as well, you kind of need to prepare them. They might not be ones you just happen to have on your shelf. So I need to prepare this year. I need to remind myself to gather a few.
Also, if you do enjoy Dracula, I'd really recommend Carmilla, because more vampires, but shorter, but also gay. So
that sounds nice.
I love more gay books.
Irish books are actually like so gay.
They are extremely gay, and it's all repressed.
It's all repressed, yeah. It literally is like when I first read Dorian Gray, I was like, this book is so gay. Like it's so gay.
I read what's it called? How Many Miles to Babylon at school, which is so gay. Like they get naked and swim in a lake together. And I remember being in class and someone suggested it was gay, and then it was just the whole like, they're just really good friends.
Oh man, waffles.
I love that everyone's got cozy food.
Yeah, I think everyone after this is going to go make hot chocolate tonight. I haven't heard of that one. Fall of the Light.
I read Nile, and my mind immediately went Horan.
Oh, I love Daughter of the Forest. I read that at the start of the year, and I absolutely love it. I need to get the second and third book in that series. So good. And I love Emma Donoghue as well. Everything I've read by Emma Donoghue, I have loved, and all of them have been so different, which I love about her.
I've read a couple, but I've enjoyed them. So she's one of those authors who I'm like, oh, there's so many books for me to get to.
And a lot of them are gay too. Kissing the Witch is very good. You might like that one because that's short stories, and it's basically short stories about kind of like fairy tale characters, but each story will lead on to another character. So you might start off, say, with Snow White, and you get her story, and then the next book is out Snow White's stepmother, and it'll be like her story, and then it goes on from there, and they're all connected.
Oh, that's
And
hilarious.
it's really good.
Oh my god, we're all gonna have the coziest evening. I love it.
I really miss Butler's hot chocolate.
Yeah.
That used to be a treat. And Insomnia do like a white hot chocolate that's really good as well. I love white hot chocolate.
It's been so strange being home and being home for like a year now.
Yeah.
All of the things that I normally do when I come home, like getting like a Butler's hot chocolate.
Yeah, you can't do.
Been, like really difficult to do.
Yeah. God. Because I don't drink coffee, so like for me, when I go out somewhere, it will normally be like a chai latte or hot chocolate.
Oh, is this book gonna hurt my feelings when I get to it?
That kind of makes sense that the audiobook narrator would be American because it came out in America first. So I say it was done there.
Yes, definitely. Oh, I love that. Yay.
Yeah, fish and chips is definitely
absolutely cozy food. I had a McDonald's earlier, and I'm vlogging today, and I was like, if you guys came here for Irish cuisine, McDonald's is a local delicacy.
What is the ultimate Irish cuisine? Like spice bag from the chipper or from the Chinese?
I think about getting a spice bag.
Yeah.
One of my also favorite being an Irish person normally in a different country thing is talking about spice bags and everyone just being like, is it drugs?
Yeah. Or casually making a crisp sandwich in front of people, being like, this is totally normal. Oh, I'm glad you're liking it, Lauren. Yay. So it's like a long book, but it's one that I felt like as soon as I got into the story, it just like sucks you in and you just like can't stop listening to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I love about her.
People first read her because of Room.
Yeah.
Which is so different to like anything else that I've read from her.
Yeah.
So different.
Yeah.
You have true influencer.
Good stuff. Do you have to like make a DIY spice bag because you're in Germany, or like do you have spice bag mix?
You can get the mixes, can't you?
You can get the mixes. You can get them sent over as well. I did I have a friend in Norway who her birthday's this month, and I sent her one of those paddy boxes. And I sent her like the curry sauce and the spice bag mix and stuff. You can like choose what you put in it.
I had such a weird Paddy's Day because obviously normally I'm not here. So normally what I would do is like get loads of like Irish snacks and stuff. And then like go out and eat or whatever. But now it was like there was no novelty to eating Irish snacks. Normally I've got to like source them, like I've got to find them quite far in advance. There's none of that this year, and then I couldn't even go out. Oh, that's absolutely a cozy drink.
Yeah.
It's just so typical, isn't it? Like Mammy sends it over.
Yeah.
I had a disaster once though because my mum put me together like this little care package, and it had like loads of potatoes in it and like chocolate in it and stuff. But she also, for some reason, put, you know, those little pouches that you put in like drawers to make them smell good.
Oh no! I don't like the lavender pouches.
Literally, my potatoes tasted like lavender.
That is cheese, onion, and a hint of lavender.
Okay, right. It is chips and normally chicken, but you could have it without chicken. You could have, like, if you were making it yourself, you could put fake chicken in it or something, I guess. And peppers and onions. And there's a spice mix on it, but it's a very specific blend of spices. And you would normally get it from like a takeaway place. Is that a good explanation?
Yeah, like it's something like a lot of people would have. Like, it's one of those ones a lot of people will get like after a night out drinking as well. It's one of the things when you come home a bit drunk, you'll get a spice bag. It's just something like, I don't even know what the spices in it are. I must look that up.
I guess if you have one of the like packet mixes that you can get in the supermarket, it must say what's in it. But
yeah,
I like not knowing.
I'll try and look it up and see. Spice bag mix.
Even though it's like proper night out food, I'd like have one sober all of the time.
I think it's 5 spice, garlic powder, chili powder, some cardamom, cinnamon, and ginger, salt, a little bit of sugar, and white pepper.
I feel like there's got to be a secret ingredient, though. Like a little bit of magic.
Yeah. But really, it's one of those ones that just like hits the spot.
Yeah, I think it is just a completely Irish thing. Like trios and 3-in-1s aren't a thing in England.
Yeah, so 3-in-1s are for other people: rice, curry, sauce, and chips.
Yeah.
And then a 4-in-1 has chicken balls in it too. And chicken fillet. Hi, Millie.
Hi, Millie.
All the way from Texas.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
What time is it in Texas right now?
What's the weather like?
What's the weather? What was I going to say? I don't know if chicken fillet rolls are a thing in the UK as well.
No,
or like not. Breakfast rolls.
No, not really. There was where I used to live in London, there was an Irish like bit of the food market that was right beside me that did like chicken fillet rolls and like breakfast rolls and like black pudding and stuff, which I know isn't for everyone, but I do.
I'll still make like chicken fillet rolls for myself. I just use like the corn fillets and they're still just as good.
This is a good question.
No, I don't think so. I think you just have to like when you get it in the chipper or the Chinese, they have it in a bag, and I say they like shake it up a lot.
Yeah.
Before they give it to you.
Wow.
That is a great idea. Oh. Curry cheese chips.
Yes.
I do love a curry chip. Garlic cheese chips. Oh my god. I miss Eddie Rocket's garlic cheese chips with an Oreo milkshake. That's what we went to.
We went to Eddie Rocket's.
Yeah. A couple of times we saw each other was Eddie Rocket. Garlic cheese chips.
It's like the afternoon. You've got so much day left.
Yeah. Loads of time for reading.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's 66 degrees Fahrenheit. I can get that. Yes, that would make sense.
Yeah, definitely not Celsius.
6 degrees in Celsius. I'm sorry, I really care about the weather, what the weather is. It's 19 degrees. That's a lovely day.
Great drying weather.
Oh, let's all go to Texas.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a very important question. We won!
That's great to know. I was not watching it. I've been to one rugby match in my life that my boyfriend brought me to. We were only dating a few months, and he loves rugby, so he insisted to bring me to this rugby match. So he got there, sat down, and the ear that's closest to me, he puts in this like radio thing, and I'm like looking at him, and I'm like, "Excuse me," and he goes, "Oh, I have to listen to the ref." So literally the entire match, he's listening to the referee, and I'm sitting there being like, "I don't have a clue what's going on." And after that, I was like, I'm done with rugby.
I never got into rugby, which is frustrating because I know we're quite good at it. And I'm really into football, which we're not very good at. And I don't know how I survived 4 years in Wales without getting into rugby.
Yeah. Well, you're into soccer, Leanne. Let's just, you know, not real football.
I had, for my first publishing job, one of my interviewers was also Irish. I don't know if I mentioned on like the hobby section of my CV that I was into football or something, but she was like, "Now is this football, like GAA, or I'm like, no, I'm sorry." No.
The other football.
Don't underestimate yourself. I believe in you.
Yeah, I think I could eat 40 pounds of waffles if I really wanted to.
Did you save some for tomorrow?
Yeah, waffles might be good the next day. They might, like, unless there's like syrup or something on it, they might get soggy.
Yeah, maybe. That's a lot of reading.
Yes, definitely.
Oh, I love that I just started a conversation about the weather. It's very wholesome. It's a very Irish thing for me to do.
It is very Irish.
Aww. You never know. You never know.
Someone asked, and I think Charlotte from Books and Bargains is in Leicester as well. Seems like there's a few.
I used to be in Derby, which is a wild time. Oh, that's a lot of waffles then. You've got to get 8. Still, I believe in you. Aw, thank you. That's so
I
sweet.
agree.
I think this is meant to be mojitos.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Feels like a long time since I've had a mojito.
It's been a long time since I've been anywhere you can get a mojito.
True.
Aww. There'll be a big booktube meetup at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah, I say so. Everyone will be just like seeing each other and then also being in bookshops. It'll just be like absolute chaos.
I find it so mad that obviously normally when I'm home, like we would find the time to hang out. And now obviously I've been here for a year and we haven't, and it's so bizarre.
I know. And we're actually not too far from each other either.
I support takeaways for all.
Yes, same. I had a Chinese last night.
It's a great show.
Was delicious.
Shall
Should
we
we?
do 15
Yeah.
minutes to finish off?
Yeah.
Marvelous. You did it. Are you enjoying your book?
I am. It's nice. It's like charming. I
Mm.
think so. It's kind of about like this soldier coming to India, and he's kind of getting to grips with like the climate and the change, and he's a bit homesick. And then he's starting off kind of this relationship with this girl who is like Anglo-Indian, so her father is Irish, but her mother would be Indian, but she thinks of herself as Irish as well. She's like she's like wanting to go home to Ireland, and she feels it's very funny because it's obviously showing that at the time there was this like difference, I guess, in thought in terms of like people who were like Anglo Indian or Anglo or Indian Irish. They didn't think of themselves as like Indian, like they're very
Yeah.
separate groups, I guess. So seeing that in the book and how she thinks of other people is very interesting. So and it's definitely something I never knew about before, the Irish soldiers in India at the time.
No, I had no idea. I'd never even
Mm,
thought about it. So
yeah. So yeah, hopefully I like it. Definitely one I'll continue tonight, and then I think I might actually pick up Mr. Salary later because you're like I kind of like I want to
yeah.
recall it now that you're talking about earlier. So I think I might pick that up tonight and read it because it won't take very long.
I'm enjoying this a lot more now that the man is gone. Because when I was reading the first section where it's about her relationship with the guy, I felt like I'd read it before.
Yeah,
Because I've read a lot of books that are about kind of relationship that has an odd power dynamic between a man and a woman before, which is something I'm interested in reading. So I
yeah,
do really enjoy it, but I felt like she wasn't doing anything that was different with it.
hmm
Whereas now that it's about her relationship with Edith, the woman, I'm more
yeah,
interested in that.
yeah.
I don't think I've read that as much.
It's funny in a way. I think with that one is like Julie and Edith. They're not like completely different people.
No, not at all. Oh,
Um, Similar.
this is our first live show together.
It is, yeah,
We don't do it on the regs.
yeah,
But if you're looking for people who do shows regularly, I mean, I don't know if this time would work for you, but there are really great reading sprints that Shannon and Anna do. So they're at 155 books
yeah,
and reading at midnight. They do those on a Sunday morning. And Rhiannon and Paris do reading sprints every Friday on Welsh Readers Channel. So I think like reading sprints, people are doing more and more at the moment, which is
yeah.
really fun.
Uh,
I'd like to
is it
do more.
Yeah, Leanne, Literary Diversions, and with Victoria and Jean and Ashley from Frolic Through Fiction, they were doing ones on Thursday, and they started at about 6:30. So that's Literary Diversions, her channel. And I don't know if that's going to be like a weekly thing or like somewhat regular, but they were fun, and they went on for a few hours as well. So I think she was on for about 3 hours. So possibly more. So it could be like if it was too early for when it first started, you could join halfway through as well.
I always watch people do their lives like afterwards as well. If
Yeah,
I'm
sometimes if I miss them, I do. Yeah, I'm like, what were they chatting about?
I did consider making this weekend a 24 and 48 as well, but likewise, I would be setting myself up for failure.
Yeah, I tried it once before and it was hard. And then I did the same thing that I think Lauren did the last time, which was I cancelled my timer. So then I had to just like guess where I was. So Shar, you are flying through.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, that's so
12
much.
hours halfway.
Well done.
So a couple of more hours tonight and then you have tomorrow.
Yeah. I love this. I love when people are like, they finish books in sprints or they like leave themselves with not
Yeah,
much left and they definitely will finish it that day. I love it.
yeah. I love the Sunday morning ones on on Shannon's channel because I find like they're just so good just to like really fly through a book. I feel like Sunday morning is like like a weekend morning is just like a really good time to like get cracking with the
I
book or finish it.
gets me out of, well, doesn't get me out of bed, but it gets me awake. So I do something like productive first off in the morning.
Yeah.
Day left.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like I am flying through this. Like I'm over halfway, so I think I'll finish this tonight as well.
Yeah.
It is really quick reading.
I did the like when I tried to read a book in one sitting. I did it with Exciting Times. So I
Oh,
think I read it in like 2 hours, maybe a bit more, two
yeah,
or 3 hours.
I'll just keep reading this even
Yeah,
when we
you'll
come
probably finish.
offline
Mm-hmm.
and get it finished.
Yeah.
And I almost didn't read this because it's technically not next on my list of what I was going to read, but I was like, I feel like this is a good reading sprint.
Yeah, I have Stab at the Reply as well. I want to pick it up at some point soon. I don't know if I'll pick it up this weekend, but
Aw, thank you for joining us, Lauren. I think we're going to sign off now anyways.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. It was
Thank
fun.
you, everyone. I hope you have lovely evenings and enjoy whatever you're doing. Bye, guys.
Bye.